Hello, everybody. Welcome to Polished Crown. I am Theresa.
And I am Sabrina.
And we're here to bring you people in our community, women that are business owners, and just allowing them to polish their crown, give their accolades to what they do, and also some inspirations to other people that may be coming behind them or that have been in front of them to do the same things. So today, our very first guest, and I'm saying our first guest because this is our first podcast.
Very first. Very first.
is one of our very good friends. And I'm going to let her explain what she does, but I am just going to say that everything that she does is so empowering to women and in her daily things for her community as well as her daily job, if you call that, because her job is so fun. It's not really a job. But when she tells you what she has accomplished and done, you will be very impressed. So, Samantha, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Letting me be your first guest. I was so excited when you guys asked me at Novelty Book Club there in Ormond. I thought that was really great. So thank you for the introduction.
You're very welcome, my dear.
I'm Samantha Tribble. I co-own Lunar Studio with my husband, Steven. My specialty is Boudoir, and I really, really love getting to uplift women every single day. So I like I said, I specialize in Boudoir. Steven, my husband, specializes in headshots, branding, and event photography. And then we do have a full event photography team. And so our whole thing is about providing an experience to our clients. It's all about the experience, not just photos, which I know both of you lovely ladies can attest to.
We have both attested to that because you are magic with the camera. And everybody wants to see themselves in someone else's eyes. You know, we want to see, gee, I wish I looked at myself the way other people see me. You accomplish that. You show us what you see. And man, is that good.
Yeah, but also you make us feel very, very comfortable. For myself, in a very uncomfortable situation. Not everyone's comfortable in lingerie, and I was extremely comfortable.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not normal. You're not normally like walking around in lingerie getting a picture taken during the day at all. It's definitely, it kind of puts your nerves on high alert. And I think that's something that myself and my team do a really phenomenal job of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, bringing you in, letting you know, hey, nerves are perfectly normal. If you weren't nervous, I might be nervous. Like that might scare me a little bit if you're nervous about this. But also just the trust that my clients put in me is really, really beautiful. And I wouldn't be able to do it without that. Like I wouldn't be able to give the experience that I give without the people who trust in me. So yeah, I thank everyone for that. That's really huge.
And you do a great job making people feel comfortable because I've seen we're on a private group where you can share your photos with people, whatever they've allowed you to share.
Yes.
And you're always saying happy birthday to these beautiful women and posting a couple of their pictures. And I've seen everything from your fabulous black lights and the chalk and couples pictures are fabulous.
Yeah, they're so spicy. I'm always like, do I need to leave the room? Like, hold on.
Later.
I was like, wow, that's so, it's beautiful, but
it's a very intimate space for that couple. It's very, a bonding experience. And then for the man to also be on board with something like that, I have to give props to every man that comes to the studio too. Because I did not expect men to be into it when I started doing it. And the fact that they all have been, they've all given me full releases. They've all been really, really amazing. So very fortunate in the couples that hire me.
Yeah, that is nice. So that's goals. Hashtag goals. I did recently see one where there was a lady, I think she maybe had a dress on or something. And I thought that is her level of comfort. Yes. And you just play into that so nicely.
Yes. I don't want anybody doing anything they're not comfortable with. And I even go into poses and I'll say, if you don't want to do this pose, tell me. You don't have to do this. If you don't want to wear that lingerie, do you want to be more covered? We can start off in a more covered look. And then you can tell me if you're comfortable moving to something else. I don't want to give you BDSM toys, a flogger, or a whip or tie you up in shibari if that's not something that you want to do. I want to make sure that when you look at your photos, you see you.
Yes.
And that shines in the props we use, what you're wearing, your hair and makeup, but also in the editing. I'm not looking to over edit my clients. Which is a huge part of the reason I do the same day reveal. So you get to see your photos unedited, how gorgeous you are. I've never had a client upset at what they see on that screen, which is incredible. I really, really love clients getting to see that and going, wait a second, that's me. And I'm like, that's you unedited. Like that's you. And then of course we put the final touches on it, for them. But all in all, the point of the picture is that you feel represented and you feel powerful in that photo and in that moment, not that you're overly polished and you don't recognize yourself, or maybe you didn't want to wear something. And so I'm constantly asking, are you okay with this? How do you feel in that? Do you want to try something different?
Yes.
Tell me now. How's the temperature? Do you need water?
No,
things like that.
That's all very true.
And the unedited part, I think, is huge nowadays. Even I'm just as guilty, but you're like, God, I look so much better with the smoothing, with that. But getting people to realize that you're human.
You are. We all have texture.
We're all human, and
Yes.
and that just is such a woman empowerment moment. I feel that you have provided. That is huge, especially with all the editing.
Thank you. Yeah, especially when you put a filter on your selfie on your phone. And I wish people would realize, like, I'm glad people do selfies. I'm glad they're taking pictures of themselves. I'm glad they feel good to do that. But at the end of the day, like, show us you, be your authentic self, show up. I hate taking selfies. I'm so bad at that. So I don't really do too many of them just because I'm not good at it. I still go for the MySpace angle, showing my age, but it's definitely something I feel like the community, the world we're living in, I think there's a huge part of it moving to fake, moving to AI, but there's a huge part fighting for that authenticity and fighting to come back to what we are. We're humans and we all share everything. We all have pores. We all have texture. We all have cellulite. We all have stretch marks. We all fart, guys. We all poop. Everyone poops. Like
we all have parts of ourselves that are everyday things, just like the people we've seen growing up in our era that we grew up in and being made to be something different. Even now that there's TikTok and Instagram and we can see those people on there, we're like, oh, that's what they really look like. Like, I've been fooled.
Yes, the whole time. But we know better.
And we can be that too. And that's what you show. And not only in doing along the way and showing the reveal right there, but your end product is so classy and so nicely done. And the amount of options that you offer, I mean, they will last forever. They're going to be, and my book, I personally have, I wonder if 25 years down the road, if I'm here or not or whatever, my kids are going to be going through my things and be like, oh, what's this book? Whoa.
Okay, Mom.
That was, but they're that very well quality done. And
I love my albums. They are all handbound in Portugal. They're all luxury, fully custom. You get to pick your materials, your gilding, the pages are thick. And my album supplier is absolutely amazing. I've been with them since I started, really. So I think since I've started offering albums, I think 5 or 6 years now, I've been with that album supplier. So, and they really do the quality. And I love that. They're not, you're not getting them printed at Walgreens where you might know the 16-year-old behind the counter and now everyone has seen your nudes. Like, no, or it's not, even consumer facing. So my printer is photographer exclusive, which means you're getting the highest quality. You're getting all the new options. You're getting updated technology. It's not Walgreens or Snapfish or anything like that. So the quality of the product is very, very important because that's what you have after. So you have the confidence and all the lessons you learned, but then you have that physical representation, and that physical representation should match the feeling. It shouldn't be a subpar product.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And you do it top notch, 100%. I do want to ask, because I'm sure our viewers and our listeners are very interested in how you actually got started.
Ooh. Okay. So I'll go way back to the beginning with photography and then I'll speed up to where we are now. But, I was living in California. I was married at the time, my first husband, and my mom had bought me a camera for Christmas. And I had just had made a comment in passing to my ex-husband when we were in Big Bear, California. I wish I had a camera so I could show everyone what I'm seeing. Like, this is beautiful. Like, it's just, I don't know how to describe it.
Through your eye.
Through my eye. And so my mom bought me a camera, used Sony, I think it was like an A600. I don't know, she got it on eBay for Christmas. And I just started photographing everything out in the Mojave Desert and like abandoned places, abandoned Air Force bases. There were mining communities where the people had just gotten up and left everything, family photos, like from, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I started hooking up with other photographers in the area and learning how to do nighttime photography and spinning still wool, catching things on fire and photographing it. Only got in trouble once for that. I only got caught once. And then
it's for art.
It was for art. And nothing was permanent damage, so we're fine. It was all abandoned. And then from there, getting divorced, moving back to Florida, and I had met my now husband, Steven, my business partner. through Instagram, he saw me catching things on fire. There's still wool on Instagram.
I love you.
Yes. He's like, hey, well, no, he messaged me. He goes, hey, I keep catching myself on fire. Can you teach me how to do that?
Oh, that was smooth.
Real smooth.
That was smooth.
But I was like, I don't know this dude. So I called one of my guy friends and he went with me to meet up with Steve. And I had no interest in Steve. And I didn't know Steve had any interest in me. But, a few weeks later, we expressed our interest in each other. And that's a story for a different podcast. But there's parents listening to this one.
To be continued.
We can talk about it during Smut Book Club. So from there, Stephen was also a photographer for a year before we had met. We were both doing photography actually the same length of time before knowing each other. And we just started photographing everything we could get our hands on, whether it was a rocket launch or a wedding, or family photos, just anything we could get our hands on. And then in 2017, we formed the LLC. 2019, we bought our house, which has the studio on the property. And I was still bartending at the time and working other jobs, like shooting weddings on the weekends and things like that. And then I saw an ad on Facebook for a mastermind for Boudoir, teaching you not how to be a photographer, but how to run a boudoir photography business.
Okay.
And I went, oh God, I could do that. That looks like a blast. Not realizing at the time what boudoir really meant and how it could impact women. And I will say that it has absolutely changed my life for the better. And I love watching it change other people's lives for the better. But so from 2019, I bought the course, dove right in and went completely full-time in 2020 with Boudoir. That is, I shoot 99% Boudoir. I might help out on an event here and there, but that's my niche. And from there, just really dove right in. And it's been a wonderful 5 years of empowering women. And
I love that.
Yeah.
So like they say, the biggest risks have the best rewards.
Yes.
So, you changed your entire life, moved back across the country, took a camera that was a gift from your parents.
Yeah.
And you met your new husband.
Yes, the one I like the most. He's the best. The best husband.
Your best husband. And you've created really an empire because he has his side of things.
He does.
And I just saw a picture of the two of you doing a wedding. He's standing on a table. You're on your knees on the back, taking a picture at a different angle.
So that was
Images.
Loved that. That was for Images. That was for the Atlantic Center for the Arts, for their patron party for Images. Images is this big, beautiful art festival. They just had their 49th year and we were the official photographers for it. So we don't do weddings. I stay far away from weddings, but it was amazing. So that was really cool. Yeah, he's on the table shooting the opera singer and I'm on the ground.
In a different angle.
Yes,
I loved it.
Yes. And what's interesting, just real quick point about when I went full time, I didn't make the decision to go full time. I had been booking, I think I was maybe getting 2 or 3 clients a month, but that was replacing my bartending income. But that wasn't really a thought. Like I had never planned to quit bartending until I had a bar patron, throw a rag with bird poop on it in my face.
Ew.
And he refused to leave. We had to get him escorted out. And then 2 months later, I walked down the stairs down to the bar and there's the owner with his arms around that patron. He had unbanned him and never told me. And I quit that night. I will not stay in a situation that's not like that.
Yeah.
He assaulted an employee and you allowed him back. And I literally texted Steve. I said, I'm done. I'm going full time. And I quit that job. And from there, photography completely took off. So I will never thank that person to their face. However, I internally thank them for doing that because it was the push I needed to live my passion.
Yep. Good for you.
Good
for you. And from that moment probably is where you started to take things and just make more be more empowering for you and for women because you do a lot of things in the community too like that. So tell us some of your programs that you're doing in the community.
Absolutely. So I am the vice president of the Good for Girls initiative, Oopsie Project. We collect small cosmetic bags and fill them with donated feminine hygiene products. So pads, panty liners, and feminine hygiene wipes. And then those get donated to every single school in Volusia, Flagler, and Seminole County. So when girls have an oopsie moment, they can go to the school nurse or the counselor and get a bag that takes care of them throughout the entire day. I'm also on the board of Fun Coast Foundation. So we team up with other nonprofits to help raise them money or raise them supplies. I'm also a member of Volusia County Women Who Care, where we vote once a quarter on a nonprofit to receive our donations. So every member of Volusia County Women Who Care donates $100 every quarter. And so we raise upwards of $30,000 plus every quarter for a nonprofit in the area.
Wow. Yeah. That's fabulous. Yeah. I love that.
That is truly amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
There's definitely a need out there for all of it, but just in your own community, your backyard.
It is.
And that's impressive, especially in our economic times that we're having right now,
Absolutely.
that you're raising that much and you're giving it to someone else. And
Absolutely. And it's important, especially as a business owner. I think if you're not giving back to the community that gives to you, that supports you, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I think it's so important that and it doesn't have to necessarily be through nonprofit work. It can be in other ways as well. But like understanding that your community is what makes you successful, is a part of what makes you successful. Not everything, but a huge part of it. They're the people buying your services and paying for your goods and trusting you and valuing you. So giving back has always been a part of our mission at Lunar Studio.
good. And you do a great job of it too.
Very good job. I had actually never even heard, like, all the nonprofits, they're all wonderful, but I never heard of that particular help for the community. So that when you guys started doing that for the schools and for the young girls, I was like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Because I have 3 daughters of my own. So I know.
And remember when we were young?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh my gosh, am I showing?
Yeah, I'd have to call my mom.
Yeah,
A moment.
That's what I was thinking. Like when I first heard you guys were doing that, I'm like, wow, that is awesome. Like they don't have to say anything. Just go to the office or whatever.
And they're taken care of. You don't have to call mom. You don't have to call dad. It doesn't have to be embarrassing. And they're set for the entire day. And they've got a cute little bag that no one knows what it is.
Right.
It's like, the little like cosmetic bags.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people realize like girls as young as 3rd grade are getting their periods. And that's like wild.
I've heard that. Wild. It's much younger now for puberty, like can be 10.
Yeah, hormones in our food. I won't go down that road, but
Right.
I don't think a 30-year-old little girl is expecting to bleed. Like I don't even know if they're teaching them at that age. Normally that comes around 5th grade with the always changing programs, which we also supply all of the deodorants for the always changing puberty program as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So we just actually had 2.5 pallets of deodorant delivered to my house the other day for us. So it was fun.
It's that's amazing.
I love that.
That really is.
I want to kind of lead into that because we're talking about the young kids. Then we talked about where you've been in your life and the things that you've taken. So, there's that meme out there that says, what would you tell yourself if you were to sit down with yourself at the younger you, whichever age that was? There's always going to be a younger Samantha, a younger Sabrina in whatever situation you're in. Maybe someone who's thinking, oh, I don't like to socialize, but I love to take my camera out and go do things. What would you say to your younger Samantha?
That it's okay to change your path in life, that you don't have to be so stuck on this idea of what your future is supposed to look like. It is okay to allow that to flow. My original path in life was law. So I graduated from Stetson pre-law. I have a major in English, a political science minor, and a business admin minor. I took the LSAT. I was in a government, law and government academy in high school. I did internships. I worked for the state. Like my entire...
You were going the course.
Yeah, you're going the course all the way through for, 8+ years. And then life decided to take another path. And I'm glad that I flowed with it. I'm glad that I said, okay, life, like that's okay. Like let's see where this goes. And so I think that kids can get very stuck, or kids, teenagers, young adults can get very stuck on the idea that life is supposed to be school, college, marriage, children, career.
Yes.
And this is all it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And I'm really happy that I feel like times are changing on that. Mm-hmm. So I just hope that the younger generation just kind of allows the universe to take them where it can and where, and even if you're not good at it, who cares? Or maybe you don't like being around people, who cares? Like go find what makes you happy and where your passion lies. It is true. Like I don't like the saying, if you find your passion or you work your passion, you'll never work a day in your life, because that's not true, because I work a lot.
That is not true.
And I love what I do.
But you love it. That is the most important thing.
That's the difference. And that's where I persevere, and I will always persevere every single day, no matter the obstacle, because I do love it and I have the passion. So it's not work in the sense of sitting at a desk and hating my corporate life, which I've lived that life too.
Yep. Been there.
Hate that.
Fall asleep at the computer. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm doing something.
Yes.
I know.
Yep. But really, so yeah, I hope young kids can just let the universe take them and keep their eyes open and try new things.
Good. Well, thank you so much. I hope that that young Samantha is listening, and I hope that the women of all ages find you, because you're going to tell them where they can find you in a minute. And everybody just can understand what it is to like self-love. And even if they go and they get these pictures done for just themselves, which I did.
Yes.
It's a reminder of who you are and and the beauty that's inside us that also is outside us that we don't see because we are inside and you're looking at us. And it's just such a refreshing thing to look at us through your eyes and whoever else's eyes might be looking.
Yes. But it should always be a gift first and foremost to you.
Yes.
So as long as you're leading with that intention, it will be exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Since this is our, like we said before, our very first podcast, there's something that we would like to start as a tradition, and you are our first person. This is called the Polished Crown. Mm-hmm. So we have picked out for you, with much thought, handpicked it.
Yes.
Your very own crown.
Oh my God, I love you guys.
Here you go. And people will see this on our, I don't know, wherever we're going to post this picture.
Did you know my birthday is July, Ruby?
Well, I did not.
Well, no.
But
red's my power color.
I know that because your wedding dress was red.
Yes.
And I was like, that is fire for her.
When we were discussing it, we had all the crowns that she had bought and picked out. We were looking at them, kind of going through our head with who's coming up. And yes, we both agreed that's yours.
You had you in mind all the way through. No one else. So let us know where our listeners can find you.
Yes, so many different places. Okay,
yes.
So really, if you just search Google Lunar Studio, it will pull up our website. But the website is lunarstudionsb.com. Facebook is going to be Lunar Studio, and then you could also put in Boudoir by Lunar Studio to find my private women's only VIP group. On Instagram with the same two names, Lunar Studio and Boudoir by Lunar Studio. And then...
and that's Lunar, Lunar.
Correct. Yes. Thank you for asking.
Yes.
And then same with TikTok, you can just type in Boudoir by Lunar Studio. And there's two accounts. One's an old account I can't get a hold of. And then the newest one, you'll be able to tell which one's which for sure when you find them. And I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else. Yeah.
What about your nonprofit?
Yes. So you'll go to goodforgirlsinitiative.org is for the Oopsie Project. Or if you search Oopsie Project on Facebook, you'll find our group there as well. We have an Amazon wish list posted. We are in need of certain things for our stuffing party coming up, like wipes, mainly feminine hygiene wipes. So you'll find that there. Fun Coast Foundation, same thing. You can search that on Facebook or funcoastfoundation.org. And then Volusia County Women Who Care, I'm just a member of. I don't sit on the board, but I would love to have anybody as my guest to one of their events. I can bring you as a guest, and that would be amazing. Volusia County Women Who Care, I think .org is their website as well.
All right. Fabulous. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We are very honored that you took time out of your very busy schedule.
I love you, ladies.
Thank you very much.
Love you too.
Always.
It's been a pleasure knowing you as a friend first, but true inspiration to myself in every walk of life. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes, you're more than welcome.
It's amazing how you find your friends along the way and how you click.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's important to find those authentic friendships that you just feel comfortable in, where it's just an easy, natural.
Yes.
Exactly.
Very much.
Yes.
Very much. All right. Well, thank you for helping us polish Miss Samantha's crown.
Yes,
and you will see her
today.
in her crown. We will be posting a picture with her.
Yes.
And everybody have a beautiful, sparkly day. Don't let anyone dull your sparkle.